Now I have the pleasure of being joined by new Vikings quarterbacks coach Andrew Janocko. Coach, congratulations on the promotion. Before we start, I gotta ask you, this has to be a dream come true, right? Being a former college quarterback and then finally, after working your way up through the ranks, getting a quarterback coaching position job, right?
Yeah, obviously it's really exciting. Feel very blessed. Feel very blessed for this opportunity. From Coach Jim, from the rest of the organization, and excited to get to work on it, and just really fired up about it.
While the transition from, wide receivers to quarterbacks, coaching-wise, seems seamless, you kind of go from big room, small focus to small room, big focus. Like, have you, started to, get your mind around the change of pace yet?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just going from last year and talking about the past game and everything that we were doing, everything got the way Coach Coos planned it and the way Clint's approaching it now. Everything's tied in together and everything has to make sense together. So, from that aspect, you're used to that. But now taking a look at tying everything together and, the run game, the pass game, the protections, and having that all on your plate on every play, it puts into perspective how cool it is to play quarterback. And then, just bringing that into light with working in that room has been fun so far.
In a game all about timing and now understanding how Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen or BC Johnson, some of those guys like and want the ball, being able to work with Kirk now, primarily, how does that help him with that perspective?
Well, I think it's the familiarity with the position, but also the familiarity with the person and understanding, what they like to do with their releases and expecting them to be in a certain window. So you're on time with your progression, but understanding how they're put together and how they get to that spot. I think that'll be beneficial going forward, where we can use some of those advantages of bringing even more familiarity to that room.
So, of course, we know you've worked with Kirk. I mean, you have to work with Kirk to get your receivers the ball last year. But now working with Kirk a little bit more closely now, well, a lot more closely with the quarterback coaching position, what have you learned about Kirk so far, and what advice has Clint given you about Kirk and how he works?
I think the first thing, and I've said this before, but I think the first thing that you got to realize with Kirk is how intelligent of a person he is. And so you have to make sure that you're on cue every day and you're ready to bring something to the table to challenge him, because he is so intelligent and he's ready to ask questions and he's on point. And to get to this level, that's the type of person you have to be to begin with as a quarterback. And so as a coach, that makes you challenge yourself each day, to come in with a certain plan and a certain way to approach each meeting and each practice and each walkthrough, that we're going to get better and that we have a plan for him to get better so he can help our offense.
And Kirk has been on record talking about, last season, talking about the continuity, having that continuity, having all those different people in his ear throughout his career. Even though there is, a little bit of change, how important is that continuity for not just him, but for yourself?
I think the continuity will be very important, because it is going to be a different position. So there are learning curves, and there's going to be natural learning curves because it's different people in that position. But we're already speaking the same language, so that takes it off the table. We're speaking the same terminology. We're not spending our time learning what we're calling each route and what we're calling the protections and all that stuff and how we name things. We're spending time, focusing on the smaller details, that getting familiar with each other and different little quirks and stuff like that we can dive in there and bypass some of the other stuff that comes with usually when you bring a new person into the room.
Yeah, you talk about some of those details. I feel like you were in the receiver room doing the gritty with Justin Jefferson. Week 17, Kirk finally hit it. So I'm assuming that helps too, just being able to have fun, right?
Cousins on a sneak and touchdown! When you get a chance to see the highlights later, that might have been the worst gritty dance I've ever seen, Ben Lieber. I mean, that was stiff.
It's all about having fun. This game is hard, but we get to do this every day. So as far as the gritty is concerned, I am not on record hitting the gritty. BC claims he saw it one time, and it was like a half a gritty at the end of the Carolina game. But we're going to reserve that for another time. I promise him I'll hit it, but we have a time period when that's going to happen.
For sure. Well, now here we are in the self-scouting mode, right? And Kirk coming off of a year where it was one of his best years in his career. How do you build on that?
You're chasing perfection, and the big thing is we have to win more games, and there's more prizes out there, and there are bigger goals to be attained. So I think just looking at ourselves and being honest with ourselves, hey, what did we do well? How can we do that even better? And then what did we not do well? What are these little things that we can improve to take us from a place where we didn't have success, or things that we didn't have success doing, to that's something that's a strong point in our game now.
Well, Coach, I'm looking forward to that process. I know the journey begins now, so looking forward to seeing what you guys do now, how that translates to training camp and so on and so forth. Thank you for joining me today.